All right, welcome back here to Calling the Audible. It is now Division D, D1, D2. GM in the Simone role, Stefano Berardi in the easy role, Alex Holowak in the GM role, and Eagle still in his role, and I'm still in my role. That's what happens when you have two renegades out. Welcome back, and we are going to dive into it the week that was in Division D, D1, and DD2. Let's go into it. Let's start with you, Stefano Berardi. You saw okay game in Papineau this past week.
Yeah, it was Wrecking Crew against Green Lantern's Corps. Now, the outcome was surprising, considering the season that Wrecking Crew had prior, the winter season, when they made it undefeated until the final, when things didn't go their way. But just to say, it's generally the same team. But just this week, Green Lantern's Corps just everything that they did worked out, and everything Stephen Hariprasad was trying, it was just discovered. Like, he was trying to find Cheyenne Stewart. Sometimes Cheyenne had it, sometimes he dropped it, which sucked. But it didn't seem like it was their week. You know, a couple of the guys showed up late, and one of the guys got busted open. So it's just everything it wasn't going their way. It just Green Lantern's Corps just took advantage of all the opportunities that came from the turnovers and the lack of points scored for the Wrecking Crew. So that's what happened there.
A game that I saw in Broadside was comeback season against Green Hornets. I don't know where to start with this game. Green Hornets, get some uniforms, please. Spray paint numbers do not work. Okay, if you know the league rules, and again, I will remind everyone out there for you, and this is the league rule that people continue to forget. But if you don't have a proper number that is legitimate, visible, and properly done, you will not get the game played for or the stats accounted for. Therefore, you might not have enough games to be playoff eligible come week 11 beyond.
Just to add to that, if you as a team earn a playoff spot and you don't have a roster eligible for playoffs, meaning you don't have 5 guys with at least 5 games played, you forfeit your playoff spot.
Tell them, Eagle.
Oh, yeah.
Lay down the law, man. Today's Dictators Thursday with what's going on in Russia, with Saudi Arabia and Russia kicking off the World Cup. Also a reminder, you need 5 games to be playoff eligible, not 6. So if you're going to add someone now, they have to play every game from this point onwards. So anyway, back to the game. Khalil Kerr had a rough start to this game. He threw a couple of INTs. But we spoke about GM last week, in the last couple of weeks, how he's improved as a quarterback from where he was a couple of seasons ago to where he is now. And it felt it didn't offset his course. Like, he still was out there. And there was a play he did. I think you and I were watching the play where he broke the ankles of
with minimal effort.
Yeah, it was just like he was just gliding right by, and I forget which player it was from. I think it was Marc-Andre Nguyen, who was the guy trying to tackle him. Anyway, like, he's running with the ball, going from left to right, and all of a sudden Nguyen comes to his right shoulder, and then he just glided right by him to the left of him, and then away he went for like 20 more yards here. But I was really impressed by how comeback season was. They didn't lose their focus. This team is definitely playing much better. Hassan Royal is becoming a legit receiver in the lower divisions. And Ben McMahon, we talked about him a couple weeks ago, how impressive he's been. He came up with a clutch catch in this football game.
Carrying it up in E as well.
He is. He really is. And look, Phil Roberts, I like to bug him a lot, but he's a good, sound defensive player. And they really gutted this victory out because in weeks past, they were running teams off the field. This was a tough one for them, but at the end of the day, though, they played fantastic. And more importantly, though, I think for this team, for Green Hornets, as Eagle made the point before, get those numbers put on properly because you might run into a predicament where you may not be playoff eligible if you qualify for playoffs in late July. Jim, any games that caught your attention?
Yeah, I was blessed with the cheat code mutation game.
Oh, yes, that was a very good game, yes.
What? 27-0 cheat code. 27-0, and Joe Cano only threw 2 touchdowns in that game. So those touchdowns were mostly defensive pick sixes. So that tells you how well that game went.
Surprised by that, though?
No. I know it's been an uphill battle for Vincent Marquis taking over at the quarterback position instead of his brother. I think that he needs to rely a little bit more on short passes and making reads rather than making his mind up in the huddle on who he's going to chuck the ball deep to, because it doesn't work. It's not going to work. There's a lot of tools at his disposal. He has a lot of depth on this team, a lot of FPF knowledge, and some solid players on this team. I think he just needs to simplify his offense is all I really need to say. Like, rather than just checking it deep, just figure out what works. Run all hooks, man. I think that even running hooks every play would be more successful than throwing it up and hoping for the best.
See, the thing with Vincent Marquis is that he always goes for the big play. He always tries to connect with his brother on a fly route. And he has the arm strength, but sometimes he just throws it too hard, and JF doesn't have enough time to get to the ball. Like, it's already past the end zone.
But that's their
They try
MO
that
play, though,
often.
right? That's the go-to place. We've seen that stuff on the
Yeah, but
sidelines.
it's worked with JF throwing to Vincent.
Right.
But like
Right.
Vincent, he's growing as a quarterback. Okay, he doesn't have he doesn't have that deep ball accuracy. Like GM said, he has to keep it short and simple, and then just move the ball easily down the field, and he'll be fine. But he keeps going for the big play, and it just doesn't work out. And then they go 4 and out, 3 and out all the time.
A game that I saw at St. Laurent Wednesday night, Smoking Axel odds, or Smoking A's, hammering half stars 36-19. And I told him I'd give him some love on the podcast.
So I was going to say, Nimrod was saying, you got to give a shout out to Smoking A's for our dominant win last night, but I'm sure you'll get to that matchup, and he now did. And he added on Jordan Rossi playing amazing at quarterback.
I like Nim Jokowski, man. This guy's,
The fire burns.
yeah, he's the fire, the desire burns in him, right? He's really out there like Deion Sanders, but he backed up his talk yesterday. He trash talked Andrew Langbert, who had an awful game, 18-36 for 129 and 2 INTs and 3 touchdown passes. And legitimately speaking here, I like Andrew Langbert a lot as a receiver in the higher divisions. Quarterback, he's still growing in that role. But Langbert looked like a deer in headlights when he saw this defense. Smoking A's after every play, guys. And Halawak will bring into this. I know Div D is not your forte, but, playing with the guys such as no regard in your time early on in FPF, they weren't afraid to bark at the half a stars after every play and really get into their face. Not literally, but really let them know, hey, what's going on here, and we're the team to beat. And this is the catalyst, the piston, the lightning rod of this defense. And he said to Andrew Langbert, after he picked him off, don't throw to my side next time. And Langbert was off his game. Yeah. What the F-bomb? Bro, go back to your huddle. Don't throw to my side.
So I spoke to Langbert after playing for his Division C team, and whatever happened in that game shook him up because he was still talking about it in the following hour. He was saying,
"Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, he wouldn't stop mentioning how he had such a bad game and how it was in his head and how he's not used to it. So whatever the Smoking Axolots did, they really shook that boy up, and it made a lasting impression. And Langbert's a very good quarterback in this division and has a strong team as well. So kudos to them. The Rossi, either of the Rossi brothers, are always known to have a feisty defense. So it seems like this kind of template transition over to the Div D.
They bully these guys. They honestly bully. And the thing was, Smoking A's, I believe, had 5 guys to start off the game, and they still bully them with 6 on 5 for like a good first 8 minutes of that ball game. But kudos to Nim. He really proved his worth last night in that victory here. Steph, Monday, Field 2, you had some Division D1 games, such as Moss City against BD Bandits.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're
I
right,
remember
you're
those games.
I think Steph is surprised because the caliber of play of both these two teams might not be representative of Div D because they're both solid teams.
Yes.
Yeah, Moss City, I mean, they have what it takes to win, but they had too many spares this week. I think they brought in 4 different guys because they just needed to fill the roster, and obviously that didn't. It was tough for them to click after that. So BD Bandits, Corey throwing the ball. He's got he has Reeves.
Yeah.
Reeves. I forgot his first name. What's
for BD Bandits,
Reeves. Jalen
Reeves.
Sorry, Jalen, if you're watching. Jalen Reeves. He was the
Greaves.
guy. Reeves. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The G. It's Greaves.
Not
Greaves,
Yorko,
okay.
Greaves.
Yeah,
Greaves.
I seem to be struggling with names, so I'm
Silent
just
consonants.
I'm just gonna stick to what they do on the field. So so he was the player that helped that defense ensure that Moss City didn't get what it took to win. And Andrew Authier for Moss City, Antoine Authier, he had one of the best games I've seen, like on both sides of the field. I mean, he only had one catch on offense, but on defense, he was the safety. He was the guy that made it hard for the BD Bandits to like get the points up there. And Corey realized that, and he struggled because he kept throwing in just a general area, and Antoine Authier just found his way to that ball, and he came away with some interception. So that was a good game to watch, and it was they needed a full team. If Moss City had their actual team, they would have came out victorious for sure.
Weird stat line for Etienne Laurence Gervais as well in that game. 18 attempts,
Yeah.
6 completions,
Touchdowns.
3 touchdowns,
Figured.
4 INTs.
Yeah.
Just wow.
It's a high risk, high reward.
Yeah,
That's what
legit,
it is.
their playbook was basically throw it up there. If whatever happens, happens.
I
If
was
it
going
works
to
out,
say,
it works out.
look at the receivers in this game. You have Antoine Autier, 1 reception, 43 yards for a TD. Samuel Bedard, 1 reception, 40 yards for a TD. So there's 2 completions right there for 2 TDs and almost all his yards. So
Anything else that caught your attention, gentlemen, from this past week's action? Div D1 and Div D2.
Homo sapiens lost to Gotham Knights.
Sorry, GM.
It's okay. It happens. It caught my attention. Chris Rive played lights out. Very, very smart on both sides of the ball, especially offense. I'd mentioned a couple weeks ago that Homo sapiens look great, and there's certain things that they do really, really well, but there are certain things that are very apparent that they do not do well. And I don't know if Chris had seen Homo sapiens play before or not, but he came into that game knowing exactly what he was going to attack, and he did. And they did very well.
When you see Chris Rivet, I like him a lot on and off the field. I think he's a really good football
He's a good
player.
guy.
But
He will be our guest next week, by the way.
is he really? It took us 2 weeks to get him. He was hard to get. He was like the Chechen leader for HBO's Real Sports. Took it forever to get this guy. I know they had a tough winter season, Gotham Knights. They had lost a lot of close games. I remember talking to Chris Rivet at the end of the year, saying, you know what, man, like I'm not sure about spring season. Hopefully we do. I go, dude, you have a really good team. It's just, the ball didn't bounce your way. But now at 4-1, gentlemen, and you're Homo sapiens now at 4-1. I will talk about it soon, but
That's actually the best transition possible.
Yes.
So transition into that topic, Mo.
But we look at the best 4-1 teams right now.
Thank you.
Do you think you can find perhaps they lose another game or two for you to jump over them for the division lead in Conference B?
So in Conference B right now, the teams that are 4-1 are Homo sapiens, Ice Up, Comeback Season, and Gotham Knights. And you asked, how would you rank them? And I think it's kind of difficult to rank these teams because certain matchups, one team will win, but will lose to the other teams. Like, they are all 4-1, but if they played each other, I think they would all come
One
out
team is
4-1.
better than the other. They
Yeah,
match up with this team.
Exactly that, yes.
Instead of a triangle, it's a square. It looks like a diamond if you put it at an angle.
It's a rhombus.
Rhombus, yes, thank you. That was very good. Do you know what rhombus is, Halawak?
It's a Pokemon. Sounds like a Pokemon.
Eagle?
It's like
you
the
can
sideways
confirm
square.
that for us?
Rhombus is not a Pokemon. Sorry, Hollow.
If you want to talk Pokemon, that's your man to your right.
I think I'm gonna need a lesson,
But you see, you have to understand, Halawak
and on geometry as well. I'll get that from Jim.
Eagle last year would, like, I think in between shows would leave and play Pokemon Go, like in the bowels of Anjou.
Yeah, he caught a good rhombus around here.
One time, one time, right? I remember this. I got there early with Eagle. We were back in the Sportier cage. I think it was like 7 o'clock. I'm like, where you going, Eagle? Chasing Pokemon. And this guy went somewhere off the highway, 25, to get himself a Pokemon.
Yeah, they're the Pidgey.
Yeah. Nerd. All right, so gentlemen, let's talk about it right now. With these teams here at
Left the
4-1.
arena for a Pidgey?
Yeah, he did. He literally left. Like, we were outside in the parking lot. I'll be back.
Did
I
it at
seen him
least
on his phone.
evolve into something fantastic?
Pidgeotto.
All right, then.
Dumbest question ever, Stefano.
He's ready off
Come
the
on.
show.
I know nothing about Pokemon. That's why I'm asking.
Clearly,
So Homo sapiens, Ice Up, comeback season, and Gotham Knights in Conference B. How would you say they are in terms of the 4-1 rankings? Who was the best team in this conference then?
Well, for me, I believe that Homo sapiens, with Frank Delorier, the way he's been playing this season, because it's just outrageous that his TD to like interception ratio is like 25-0 because he hasn't thrown an interception yet in Div D. So if he continues to do what he does and move the ball and do what it takes, play safe with the ball, Homo sapiens have a chance to like get up there.
Even
Ice
though
Up-
they lost to Gotham Knights.
even though they lost to Gotham Knights, it's just a minor setback. I mean, they could learn from it, and then they could do things differently, and end up victorious at the end of it. But with Ice Up, it's also that team. They have Sergiotis, their quarterback.
Jack Sergiotis.
Sergiotis.
Yeah.
Jordan
Now
McInnes.
he has the look of a quarterback. Okay, he has the arm of a quarterback.
Tackle quarterback as well. He is.
Tackle quarterback. He needs the protection in order to thrive. But in FBS, that's not the way to. That's not what it is here. You got a guy coming at you full speed from like about 12 yards out, considering. And he just wires past it. He hits McInnes a couple times. It works out. But sometimes he just forces throws. Like he forces the deep ball a lot because he has the arm. It's like second nature to him. Like he just flicks his wrist and it goes to like 40 yards down the field as if nothing happened. But sometimes it's just they clean up on that. If they don't take as many risks, I mean they're 4-1. Yes, it's been working out. But like sometimes it'll end up biting them in the ass eventually. So if they just if they don't force it as much as try it for the big plays, they'll be in a good spot too. But in my opinion, it's Homo sapiens.
Jordan McInnes also gunning for the record for the most touchdowns in Div D with that little asterisk because he was informed what the actual touchdown record was and then realized he was not going to meet it.
I love him though. I like Jordan McInnes a lot.
Honestly, yeah, absolutely. I also think that he's an equally strong, if not better, quarterback than Zach Zergiotis.
And he's had quarterback experience in the lower divisions when he first came up. Obamacare.
Yes.
That's right. But the thing is, if Jordan McInnes was, I know he's been on and off with the FPF seasons, but if he was more consistent in playing every year for a good sample size of maybe 10 seasons, for example,
he could be a legit Div 3 quarterback.
Absolutely. I think he can definitely be up there for a quarterback level. And look, Ice Up, I like them a lot. And at 4-1, I mean, they're in the 4-hole right now, and they would be match up with Show Me Your TDs, which I think no one wants to go up against in the playoffs here because Show Me Your TDs with that arsenal of talent can definitely knock off the 4. And then, I mean, again, they are going to be that team that you want to avoid in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs if that is the end all be all. In Conference A, yes, Eagle.
We do have some write-ins I want to talk about.
See, when you see write-ins, multiple, I go, man, we're really killing today.
I think we have had more write-ins in this show than in all the other shows combined.
The Hollowak Variety Fan Club is definitely out in full force today. Let's go.
So Nimrod is saying about how, appreciate it, Mo. Bring your popcorn next week. The show will continue.
My dad actually popcorn actually during the daytime, so he will bring the popcorn.
And then we also have a question to the group from Ryan Aridi saying,
It's
been a while, Ryan.
Yeah.
what's your go-to mixer with vodka? So is it Red Bull, 7-Up, hummus, or more vodka?
Well, as the person that observes Ramadan once a week, I can't answer that question, so the 3 of you can answer that question.
Clamato.
Oh, Mott's Clamato. Steph?
Vodka, I wouldn't say Red Bull because I don't want to have a heart attack at a young age. So I would need to go with 7-Up. And it would just works out.
Vodka 7 is
Vodka 7 is pretty.
If it's
is
of
the
the
go-to.
options that Ryan gave, yes, 7-Up or
It's the
Sprite
go-to.
because I like Sprite better than 7-Up.
Yeah, Sprite is better.
But if it's not applicable, I will take Clamato.
All right, Hollow.
I like to keep it clean. You put it on some ice and you put a little squeeze of lemon in there.
Natural
no,
lemon,
lime.
or are you talking
You go
like
lime,
the
my
lemon that you have in that
Natural
glass?
lemon, Mo.
Let's
Natural
make
lemon.
sure, because sometimes
From the
people
lemon
buy
trees.
Lemon trees. Where are lemons growing from, by the way?
Springfield.
Springfield. Da-na-na-na-na. Eagle.
I'm definitely with Hollow on this one.
Turnips?
But instead of lemon, I'm putting some lime.
Lime.
Oh, okay.
Find out where limes are the biggest country that mass producer of limes. Which country is it?
Mexico.
Really?
No, that's guacamole.
You mean avocados?
Yes.
All right.
There you go.
As long as you know what you're talking about, Mo, it's fine.
GM's shaking his head.
He's like, why? Why would Mo even go there? Like, honestly.
I do this every week, but I'm on camera this week, so you can see me doing.
I can see the little
I
sweat
believe
beads
that entirely.
trickling down from your
It is warm in
perfectly
here.
coiffed hair.
It is warm in here. Yes,
the
Eagle.
irritant.
So if I'm looking at this, in 2016, 3 million tons came from India,
Hey!
2.4 million
Hey!
came from Mexico.
Mo Khan
All
What are
right.
you
represents.
clapping about? You didn't even know.
Mo Khan represents.
30
How
seconds
don't
ago, you
know?
said Mexico. You didn't even
I
know.
recall having a
Don't
lot
you
of
know?
limes in India when I went as a young boy to the small villages of my mom and dad's homes.
Man.
Playoff Doom freshmen, Montreal freshmen, Renegades are both 0-5. Guys, if they lose this week, do you give them any chance at all for them to get into the playoff picture?
So, in order to do that, I will bring up their schedules in the meantime.
And Eagle, you'll have
So-
these. Oh, no,
Oh.
Eagle.
They say no to you, Mo.
Let's try and catch you off guard here.
We did it for E.
I
We
know.
didn't do it for a daily
So-
division, Jep.
MTL Freshmen's play Takeover, Smoke and Axolotls. Gotham
losses.
Knights,
Oof.
Renegades, so they will play each other, and Ice Up, whereas
it's
Renegades
not
play
working.
the Sheriff, Comeback Season, Diablos, MTL Freshmen, and BD Bandits.
So I give the freshman the
So
edge.
will
Yeah, they do. But like they both have a tough schedule, but like Renegades has it worse.
so one team will beat the other, but I don't think that either team will unfortunately make the playoffs.
What are the chances that game ends in a tie?
Then they're both done.
Possible?
No, I know,
Yes.
but like because they're both like 0-5, and then they have tough schedules, but like they're meeting each other, and they just tie just to say we didn't go winless.
So quite the imagination you have there.
Somebody's got to
Not
go.
much.
Somebody's got to
Sounds
go.
like
for
a
it.
su-
Yeah,
it sounds like a support group for underachieving Division D
Yeah.
teams.
Steph has a lot of time in his hands in Papineau on
I do.
Sundays and Mondays.
Let's meet each other week 9 and tie.
We'll go 3 and out every single time, punt the ball back and forth.
Let's both forfeit the same game.
Like the
Right?
Euro
Right.
Cup
30-30.
04.
My first season, we went 1-9. Like we lost the game 50-0. We lost like 52-6. But the one game we won, we beat the other. We beat the 0-10 team. They weren't 0-10 when we played them, and it was by 1 point. So it came real close to that actually happening. That actually almost happened.
All right, mid-season report cards for Div D1 and Div D2. Gentlemen, we'll go with the individual leaders for the awards here. For Div D1, quarterback of the year is who in your mind, Steph and GM? Steph.
Well, Div D1 is that the Homo sapiens, right?
Yes, it is.
For me, it's going to be Frank Delorier. I mean, his play. Even I'm writing for the co-eds. He plays there too. He's having also, the only difference is that he actually has one interception in co-ed, and he doesn't have an interception here. Or else he's been lights out all season at quarterback. He just knows the game. He just knows what it takes to win, and he's gonna continue playing this, and he's gonna be a quarterback.
I assume you're going to go with Frank Delorier, even though he's your teammate.
So in the event that it is not Frank Delorier, I think some of the other front runners are Khalil Kerr, Mike Adana, and possibly even Jordan Allard. He doesn't have a lot of touchdowns thrown, but he's also run in a bunch as well. I don't think it'll be enough, but it's point for consideration if he can turn it up in the second half.
But you think, I had it listed here before with Super Saiyans. If they have, and not to go back here, but if they have a good run, a good finish.
We're not going back, actually, because you skipped over that part of the script.
I know. But if they have a good finish to the season, does that put Jordan Allard maybe even closer to Delorier, perhaps make it a little bit closer vote, or do you still think it's Delorier's to lose here?
Nah, if Delorier continues like this, it's his to lose. It's his to lose for me.
We have a history lesson question.
Yes.
What was the name of the team that you beat?
Oh,
From who?
Pompeii Rough Riders. Thank you, Rob. I know that only Rob would know that.
Yeah, Rob. He's probably sitting in his air-conditioned palatial castle over here, while we in the shipping container is trying to chuck away over here. You know.
They wore yellow, and they were I wouldn't even say they were worse than us, because they were pretty on par, but we were bad.
Maybe the air-conditioned room you can find out for us. All right. No question about it. For Div D1, Georges Elivoye will be your receiver of the year. He's head and shoulders above everyone else for yards per season this year.
Yeah.
What if he stops playing?
Maybe.
What are the chances that
But,
he
like,
does stop
Jordan
playing?
McInnes' 13 touchdowns count for something,
That helps.
right?
They
Like,
do.
they kind of count for something.
They do. But what do you think right now? Who has the edge going to the last 5 games of the year?
I would definitely say Jordan McInnes,
Yeah,
because
the
he scores
touchdowns.
touchdowns,
Touchdown play is a big
and
deal.
he's helped his team win.
Yeah. If ISOP didn't have Jordan McInnes, they wouldn't be 4-1.
Does this remind you of GM to go back in history? And of course, the captain of the ship here in this cruise cabin will probably remember this. Division II, Paul Kamel, Matthew Norris. Remember that one player had a lot of receptions, but the other player I think had more yards.
Yeah, and Paul had one game less played.
Right, exactly. I forgot who won quarterback, receiver of the year
Paul
for that.
Kamel.
Paul Kamel, right? The question I had on the list here: could Georges Elivoye perhaps hit 1,000 yards? He's at 488 at the 5-game point, guys. Can he do it? And if he does that put him over the top for?
Can he do it? Yes. Will it put him over the top? No.
So you're going to value the touchdowns?
Yes.
Over the yards. You, Steph?
Well, it depends if he turns that yardage into touchdowns, but pretty much it's going to come down to. I don't know how the voting process. I just assume that
You're
the
part of
most
the voting
touchdowns-
process now.
I'm part of the
You're
voting process
part-
now. Okay,
And
so
I am
then
not,
I would say
so-
that
Are you not?
No.
the thing that helps win, which is touchdowns, it's not yardage, because you could get 39 yards a catch and stop at the 1, and then after your team can't score, you just have to get over the edge. So touchdowns play a big factor, unless all that yardage accompanies with many touchdowns, then it'll probably be still McInnes.
Hello,
Qu-
your observation. What do you value more, the touchdowns or maybe the 1,000
Well,
yards?
question for you, gents. How many yards is equivalent to a touchdown?
40.
40?
Yeah.
Well, in your opinion, so in terms of ranking players, so you'd go roughly with 40 as well?
I guess. Alex would probably be someone who would answer that question a little bit more accurately.
I shall not.
Okay, Eagle, thanks a lot. Back to your puffs, please.
There's hidden formulas for a reason.
I got to give points to the monumental achievement. I think if he tops 1,000 yards, I would lean in favor of George. If he is under 1,000 yards, and if McInnes hits 25 touchdowns or up, I would lean in favor of McInnes.
Let's say he's
So I
at
think
990.
well, if Jordan McInnes gets 25 and up, I'm going to give it to McInnes. So I want to see who gets that truly remarkable feat at receiver this year in the division, and I think I would lean towards those two, although it would be a very, very close consideration.
All right, defense play there in Div D1, guys. Who do you have lined up?
I am loading it right now.
Loading up indeed on who they would have. Could it very well be a guy such as
Jay Blanche?
or Eric Paquette from Ice Up? But is Justin Blanchard your head and shoulders defensive player of the year?
Considering, like, I liked Justin enough to make him my defensive play caller in Division 3.
Yeah.
I definitely put a lot of stock in his abilities. So does he, by the way, if you listen to him talk about his accolades. But there's a reason that Justin Blanchard puts up these numbers and we talk about him this much. It's his to lose right now in the same way that Francois Delaurier. Like at 7 INTs, 2 for 6, he is the supply and command defense.
Yeah, basically that defense runs through him. He makes the calls out there, and whatever if it works, it goes good for him. He seems to back up his team whether they get to it or not, and Justin Blanchard is probably the lead for me right now.
Quickly, guys, two of the heirs who for
Khalil
Div D1.
Kerr.
Khalil Kerr. Who you got?
There's Khalil Kerr, and if you don't want to go with Khalil Kerr, I would say Thomas Coutu from All Hooks.
That's a good
He's
one.
very good.
Because
Solid
he's a
boy.
very solid rusher, and his receiving stats are also very good. So Thomas Coutu would probably be a second if it's not Khalil Kerr.
All right, same thing
Thank you
now
for
for
refilling my coffee.
coffee with water, I assume. Division D2, who do you have as quarterback of the year? Could it be John Moody? Could it be Hyman Lawong, Styles Trudeau, or even Joe Cano for that matter?
I believe it's going to be John Moody. I mean, the way he plays with the Longhorns team, considering that they've been together for a long time, and the chemistry is just there. Everything that they seem to do works out, and I believe John Moody's going to be the guy.
How do you leave Eric off that list?
I'm sorry.
He's close to an 80% completion ratio.
Yeah, Eric Marino is pretty solid too.
Also, I liked that off the air, Pease had the epiphany of where the name baby kangaroos comes from.
And what do you
What's
call
a baby kangaroo? What's another name for a baby kangaroo?
them? I forget. I'm not too sure. I forget.
A joey.
Oh. Oh, yes.
Clever.
Well played. So you're saying Eric Marino wants to be Joy Taylor?
He's close right now.
I know that their connection is outstanding. Eric Marino and Joey Taylor just that's the connection that works for that team. And
Also, I did a Mocon snap just there.
Your quarterback of the year, GM.
Eric.
Fair enough. Receiver of the year, I saw him play on Sunday. I'll give him the edge. Max Burrow single-handedly won their game for Vic in the box and kept them alive in the playoff race.
yeah, Max Burra, he's been doing this since they came in as Goofy Goobers and such. And him and Styles Trudeau, it's just Max Burra. He finds openings in the field. Whether
Is he
you
full time
cover-
on this team?
No. I don't think so. All the information we've been given up to this point is that he will not play a full season.
Well, then, that's going to really offset this pick. Jim, who do you have winning receiver of the year?
Maybe Joey Taylor, maybe Zach Zwern. What's really interesting...
Because we're going to win two of the year because his seven INTs and 1 pick six could be him win two of the year, though.
The front runner for touchdowns right now is Adam Rosen at 9 touchdowns with
Longhorns.
1 less game played. He is stupid fast. He's really, really good. And his dad is 7th in touchdowns right now, tied for he is. So Adam has 9, and his dad Chris has 8.
I'll ask you this question because you're a historian for FPF. Is that the greatest father-son combination we've had in FPF history?
As far as output from both players,
Yes.
yes.
What about Lonnie and Quay Johnson?
They've not played on the same team. I think they
Oh.
played on they did on Untouchables, but I don't
Yeah.
think they put up ridiculous numbers like this. And the other father-sons tandem would be Pap and Co.
Yeah. Yeah, Sasha Papic.
Papa Papic with Sasha and Nikki.
Yes.
I was gonna go with Serge Pilon Jr. and Alex Pilon.
That's true.
58, 56.
And I would probably go with Peas and Eagle.
57.
Peas and Eagle sounds like
Peas and Eagle, yeah, would be a pretty good one.
Those are like
Defense player there, and who you're in your mind is who? Tim Horner from Cheat Code. Mentioned Zach Zwer, maybe two-way. I think that's his edge. Pat Saint-Armand, Chris Rosen. We mentioned him before. David DeAndre. Who do you have winning defense player?
So you also don't choose your opponents, but Tim Horner had a massive boost in playing this week against the matchup there against Mutation. So 3 of those picks came from that game, including one of those pick sixes. But he's still a solid player. Very tall, covers the deep ball very well, smart instincts.
Pat Saint-Armand has the potential of being a defensive player also. I mean, his numbers aren't – they're good. They're good. They compete. He's got 5 interceptions. He's got 4 PDs. I think he has a pick 6 as well. And he's just all over the field, you know. Like, if it's on his side, there is a chance that he will get to that ball or at least disrupt the play enough for the quarterback to, like, make a mistake or such.
Mm-hmm.
So Pat Saint-Armand might if he, like, has, like, a breakout game – like you just mentioned about Timo Horner, let's say he has that one game that he has 3 interceptions, and I'm pretty sure he would get that edge.
All right, quickly, guys, two-way of the year. Wrap it up.
Chris Rosen.
Chris Rosen.
Zoran, does he factor in at all?
Yes.
Or?
Zach Zoran does, but I mean Chris Rosen, unless he stops playing or like.
I think it's between the two of them right now because they both have similar touchdown outputs and similar interception outputs. So
right.
Depends on that schedule.
Team you saw on Tuesday, I beg your pardon, Brassard, LBB, Grobage, right? Both teams have yet to score 100 points. They're in the 7th and 8th hole of the playoff rankings on the Conference A side of their division bracket here. Could the demise of the offense cost them a playoff spot as we move towards the last 5 games, guys?
Who's gonna jump in their place, right?
Thunder Buddies, Mutation, or Browns to Boucherville. I don't think they're going anywhere. So it's Mutation or Thunder Buddies.
I believe Mutation, unless Vincent Marquis like flips a switch and like quarterback's outstanding. I think Thunder Buddies would probably be a team that could overrun them. But Grubage, I think Grabouche, they have not many points, but they have more points than Le Bleu Blanc. So I'm assuming that if it would impact one of the teams, it would probably impact Le Bleu.
LBB right now have the tiebreaker in the divisional win, though, which might count for something. It'll probably come down to these two teams playing each other.
Yeah. The
2 and 3 teams on the other side in Conference B, right? You have Vic in the Box, huge win for them on Sunday, which put them back in the playoff race at number 7. And you have Sunday Touch Boys in the 8th hole at 2 and 3. Both teams have had their issues, but right now, gentlemen, do you think those two teams could be in the outside looking in when it's all said and done?
Well, considering that you were saying before that Max Barra might not play a full season, right?
Yeah.
So if they don't have his offense, chances are they'll always be on the outside looking in. Unless of course, they find ways to adjust without having him on their team, making the offensive plays that he always does. They'll probably be more likely have to be the outside looking in my opinion.
James, you agree?
I do. I'm of the opinion, unfortunately, that I almost feel like Max Bura hurts the development of Styles Trudeau.
Because he's too dependent on him.
He's way too dependent on him.
That's why.
Yes, Eagle.
Father-son duels, Jordan and Norm Belmar.
That's a good one. That's a good one too. Yeah, I haven't. What was his cadence?
But like the Rosen.
Storm and Norman.
Yeah, gamma. There you go.
Yeah.
That's it. Gamma.
The Rosens are still on another level though. Like Chris Rosen now is playing some of his best football, and he's played in the league for the last 10 years.
When we do like an upper deck like trading card, there'll be like the father son card, right? The Rosens. Games of the week, please. Eagle. 4 games, 2 each from Div D1 and Div D2. Here we go.
4 games of each?
2 each.
Oh, you want to do
4 games in total.
We can do 4.
Or do 3 and 3. Do whatever you want to do, and Mo
Mo
will be bound by that.
Nothing right now.
Gotham Knights, Texas Bearmans.
Knights.
Then Gotham Knights. I feel like Chris Rivers going to find a way to get that win.
Is Jalen Grandison quarterback?
He is indeed quarterback for Texas.
What's your blind
Texas
pick?
Bearmans, baby.
All right, you like them Texas Steaks. Next.
They're not going with Trifson this week? Trifson played with them once.
Jefferson? No, I don't think they will.
No? He played with them once. The one game I watched them, it was Trifson. That's why.
Yeah.
All right, we
Maybe
got
it was just-
Homo Sapiens versus Comeback Season.
Dude, my boy.
Yeah, I have to rush Khalil.
Yeah, you were saying that on
Oh,
Tuesday.
man.
Comeback season.
That comeback season. I hate to be this guy GM, but like comeback
Don't be.
season is probably good.
Blind pick here, Hollowak.
Like Khalil and
It's not really blind because he knows both
Comeback
teams.
season will prove to be the Homo erectus to the Homo sapiens this
Oh, look
week.
at
Give me
that.
the
Oh,
sapiens for the win.
Hey.
Going real old school in this here. Next.
We have Supply and Command versus Show Me Your TDs.
Show me your TDs.
Show
They're
me
going
your
to roll
TDs.
these guys,
Yeah.
man. They're playing well. I like them a lot now.
Mind you, they came off a big game that just passed. A lot of emotion was there, so they'll probably take that in.
I know Mike Adana has talked about retooling his playbook because he's facing a lot of teams this year that have seen him before. So I think that in order to really beat Supply and Command, he's going to have to go outside. Like, he's going to really embrace that new playbook and go outside the box for this and throw them a curveball.
Blind pick.
Is P's quarterbacking for supplying
It
command?
depends on his wrist, how it
Yeah,
feels from
he's
Simon.
Give me show me your TDs.
Okay, perfect. Next.
We got The Brotherhood versus Smoke and Axolotls.
Ooh, man. Brotherhood, man. This is going to be a good game of trash talking.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Smoking A's, man. I like them a lot.
I'll take Brotherhood on this one. Also,
I'll
I don't
take
think I
that.
picked the last 2 games, but I don't really mind. Give me Brotherhood for this one.
Most
He's
I'm
got
cutting
Homo
up
sapiens.
GM, man.
All
Yeah,
right.
Brotherhood's probably gonna come out victorious in this game here.
Okay, Division D2.
Oh, hold on. Hollow?
I love the Majid brothers, great guys, but I want to see Nimrod fired up next week, so
Oh.
I'm going to take the smoking
Maybe
axe.
me
to
choosing
get the
against
win.
Nimrod's
Yeah.
gonna give him that
Oh,
extra
that's-
fire.
Yeah. That'll be a matchup.
All right, here we go.
All right, we have, let's do Sunday Touch Boys versus Vic in a Box.
It's a playing game, right? I mean, loser probably could be on the outside looking in here. I'm going to have to go with Vic in the box.
I'll
Yeah.
take Vic in a box because I think that Max Burrow will be around for this.
Unanimous.
Vic in a box's offense could if Max Burrow is there. Will
Next.
We got Baby Kangaroos versus Adonis A's.
Adonis A's, man. No one's talking about them, but I watched their first game. They impressed me then. They're 5-0. They'll be perfect, and they'll be big.
Yeah,
big
Donis A's
fingers.
is looking good this season. I think they're gonna continue with that.
Give me
All
the
right.
Joeys.
We have
I like the Joeys as well because I think that as good as Adonis A's are, and you're right that we don't talk about them all that much, I think that they're going to look at baby kangaroos, underestimate them, and say, what is this offense? And then suddenly have 36 scored on
They're gonna
them.
question
Best
Joey Taylor's
defense.
fashion choices.
Best defense against the best offense. Next.
we got Team Ethnic versus Ball So Hard You.
Ball so hard, brother.
Ball so hard, you.
Yeah, you can pick against your paisans.
I'm not gonna see. I knew you were gonna say something.
Yeah,
That's why I was
yeah,
like,
exactly.
Before he
Yeah, go
goes
ahead.
with
Go
that,
ahead, Michel Bergeron. Let's go.
Now, ball so hard, you. I mean, their offense. If Joe Buffone doesn't use his legs to his advantage, there's not much that they could come about because he spreads the play, he extends the play, he gets the rusher tired, so it gives him more time to make the decision. So if he continues that, ball so hard, you will come out.
Is he still the keeper for Italy?
Buffon.
You mean Buffon? No, he retired, and now it's a guy that likes.
Who are they
money.
playing now this week?
Eh?
Who are they playing this week, Italy?
I'm not sure.
Of
I don't
course.
know.
Who you
I
got,
don't care
GM?
enough. It's not the World Cup.
Balsardia.
I just saw them play, the guys from Ball So Hard You yesterday. What an emotional group they are, aren't they? They get fired
I
up.
wonder where they got that came from.
Yeah,
I feel like it's coming from the
they bring the heat. I do agree with you, though. I think their quarterback should run a lot
Yeah,
more. He
he
tried to
needs to.
force a lot of
Yeah.
passes into tight coverage yesterday, paid
Yes.
the price for it, and his teammates started to rile on him throughout
Yeah.
the game. But luckily, the defense bailed them out.
Yeah.
I think the defense is going to be overwhelming once again this week for the opponent. Ball So Hard
Jono's
You.
a good defensive
Last
player.
game.
We're gonna do 2 because I like these
Well,
ones.
we're on
Cheat
time
Code,
here. Let's
Tough
go.
Lungs.
Oh, cheat code.
Cheat code.
I like cheat code for this one.
cheat code.
Blind. That's a blind guess for me. Cheat code. Because you
Next.
guys seem
And
to
then
Cheat
like.
code.
The last one for survival in the playoff race or staying in it. Full Senders versus Thunder Buddies.
Full senders.
I feel like Thunder Buddies know that they need to win, so they're gonna take that extra step to ensure that victory.
Yeah, give me Thunder Buddies with the kind of upset, I guess.
Blind pick.
Thunder Buddies. Saw Full Senders play. Wasn't impressed this week.
Magic words, please, Eagle.
From all of us here at the Week Extra Point Live, now rebranded Calling the Audible, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next show.
Good night,
Peace, Del Reese.
Cleveland.